Hello guys, you're welcome back to this channel. This is Javins TV. I have an interesting episode for you right now. Sacked managers in the 2020-2021 Premier League. There are always casualties in the Premier League season. So we are going to keep a rolling tally of all the sacked managers for this season. Chelsea. Lampard is one of the 8 English managers currently active. Frank Lampard Jr. would begin his soccer career within the system of West Ham United. Lampard would make over 150 appearances for the West Ham team before moving to Chelsea for a cost of slightly over $18 million in 2001. While with Chelsea, he would make well over 600 appearances with 209 goals scored and 150 assists. Lampard has quite the trophy chest from his 13 years with Chelsea. He would remain with Chelsea until he would move to Major League Soccer in 2014. Despite moving to Major League Soccer's NYCFC, Lampard will go on loan back to the parent club Manchester City for the 2014-2015 season. In total, Lampard would make 31 appearances in MLS before retiring for the playing side. Lampard began his career in 2018 with Derby County and was able to guide them to the semi-final position for Derby as they finished in the season prior. There was no substantial difference in the team's statistics. Lampard would lead the club to the playoff final before losing 2-1 to Aston Villa. Shortly after Derby's season ended, the speculation began that Lampard would replace Sarri. The appointment to Chelsea took a long time due to the compensation package for Derby. However, only July 4th, the Chelsea icon, Frank Lampard, was officially appointed on a 3-year deal. The 42-year-old manager was born in London, England. Sheffield United. Chris Wilder is one of the 8 English managers that currently manage in the EPL. Wilder began his playing career with the youth team at Southampton. Although he was released before making a first-team appearance, he would go on to make appearances for 11 clubs over his 15-year career before entering management. His first managerial endeavor was with Alfreton Town, with whom he won the Premier Division of the Northern Counties East League, EFL Tier 8. He would spend the next 6 years with Halifax Town AFC until the club was liquidated. Under his leadership, they would finish in the top half of National League in Wilder's first season. Only a few months after Halifax Town AFC was liquidated, he was hired as the manager of Oxford United. He would stay with them for 6 years, also winning the club promotion to League 2 Tier 4 during his tenure. He would eventually resign from the club to take over relegation threatened Northampton, leading them instead to a mid-table finish. In his second season with the club, they would win the League 2 title. He returned to Sheffield United, where he had played during his playing career. He won 2 promotions in just 3 years, the most recent of which brought the Blades into the Premier League. He has won the Manager of the Year in various divisions 4 separate times, as well as numerous Manager of the Month awards. The 53-year-old was born in Stockbridge, part of Sheffield metropolitan area in England, and was a right back during his playing career. Tottenham. Jose Mourinho, or Jose Mario dos Santos Mourinho Felix, is one of the 2 active Portuguese managers in the Premier League. Mourinho began his senior career at age 17 with Rio Ave. In 1980, but he would make only 16 appearances over 2 years. In 1983, he would move to Belenenses, where he would make the same number of appearances in a single year. He would move again in the later part of the year to Sesimbra, where he would stay until 1985, accruing 35 appearances during that span. In 1985, he would move to the team where he would conclude his career with Camerico L'Industria. Camericio L'Industria. In 1987, after making 27 appearances. In 1999, he began working for Victoria de Setúbal as a youth coach, and over the next 2 years, he would serve as an assistant manager and a scout. In 1992, arguably one of the most pivotal opportunities for Mourinho's professional development arose with the hiring of Bobby Robson at Sporting CP. The Englishman needed a translator, and Mourinho accepted the job where he would work closely with Robson and develop his tactical approach to the game until 1997. At this time, Robson left the club and was replaced by Louis van Gaal. The pair worked well together, and Van Gaal eventually gave Mourinho the reins of the Barcelona B team. In the summer of 2000, Mourinho would depart Barcelona and accepted a position as the successor of Job Heynckes, who was sacked before the end of September at Benfica. Mourinho was immensely successful, but the presidency of the club changed hands and the new president had a different direction in mind. Mourinho was allowed to remain manager in the interim. After defeating Sporting Lisbon 3-0, he asked for a contract extension, which was denied by the board, after which he resigned. The club would go on to finish 6th in the league despite their blistering mid-season form, and the president has spoken openly about the regrets over the decision, noting that he should have responded differently. Mourinho got his next management job in 2001 with União de Leiria, whom he led to a 4th place in the Portuguese top flight when he was approached by Porto. Mourinho was announced as the new Porto manager on January 23, 2002, with the club residing in 5th place. Despite this, Mourinho led his new side to a 3rd place finish with a strong run of form to conclude the season prior to the start of the 2002-2003 season. He made wholesale changes to the club squad before winning the league twice in succession. In addition, the club won the UEFA Club and Taça de Portugal in 2002-2003 season and followed it up with the UEFA Champions League victory in 2003-2004. His successes at Porto had English clubs seeking his services, and eventually he would move to Chelsea after terms were agreed with Porto. On June 2, 2004, Mourinho was announced as the new Chelsea boss after signing a 3-year deal. In his first season as Chelsea manager, he led the club to their top flight win in the Premier League era. In addition to the Premier League title, they would also win the League Cup against Liverpool and would be runners-up in the Champions League after losing to Liverpool. The 2005 season saw Chelsea repeat as Premier League champions, this time over Manchester United. In other competitions, they won the FA Community Shield, made the semi-finals of the FA Cup, and were eliminated in the quarter-finals of the UEFA Champions League. In 2006, the season would get off to a poor start as Roman Abramovich would splash the cash on Andre on Andriy Shevchenko, who did not have a good season and eventually benched. During this season, rumors began to arise about Mourinho leaving due to disagreements with management and the appointment of Avram Grant as the director of football. Mourinho would deny the claims and won the League Cup and the FA Cup. However, he would only remain as Chelsea's manager until September 20, 2007, at which time he and the club parted ways by mutual consent. Mourinho's next club would be Inter Milan, where he succeeded Roberto Mancini. He would bring a large portion of his coaching staff, which had previously followed him to Chelsea from Porto to Inter. Mourinho expressed initial interest in signing only a few players, which eventually ended up being the Brazilian Mancini, $14 million, Sully Montari, $15 million, and Ricardo Quaresma, $20 million per player exchange. In the 2008-2009 season, Mourinho would lead the team to wins in the Serie A and the Italian Super Cup. They were eliminated in the quarterfinals of the UEFA Champions League. The 2009-2010 season would feature the Mourinho-led Inter to a treble consisting of the UEFA Champions League, the Coppa Italia, and the Serie A. They narrowly missed completing the quadruple after losing the Italian Super Cup. Mourinho would be released from the club for a 10 world record compensation package of nearly $10 million to become the manager at Real Madrid. Mourinho became the 7th manager in the last 11 years for the club and would bring in several major names before the season got underway. Those incoming players included Sami Khedira, $14 million, Mesut Ozil, $16 million, Ricardo Caravijo, $10 million, and Angel Di Maria, $28 million plus incentives. In his first season, the club repeated as runners-up in La Liga, although he brought improvements in the Copa del Rey, which they won, besting the round of 32 defeats the previous year. The club also improved in the Champions League, where they would be eliminated in the semi-finals rather than the quarter-finals as they had the year before. In his second season, 2011-2012, the Spanish team would return to the top of La Liga, reaching the club milestone of 32 league wins. They would finish in a runners-up, quarter-finalist, and semi-finalist in the Spanish Super Cup, the Copa del Rey, and the UEFA Champions League respectively. In his final season with Real Madrid, they would return to second place in La Liga, runners-up in the Copa del Rey, and the semi-finals of the UEFA Champions League. The only trophy won would be the Spanish Super Cup. Less than a year after signing a multi-year extension, the manager would leave by mutual consent again. Mourinho will return to Chelsea in early June of 2013 after the firing of Roberto Di Matteo and the short-term interim manager Rafael Benitez. In his first season of his second term, he would only manage an improved position in the Champions League, where they would improve from a group stage exit. The prior year to the semi-finals. His league position would remain exactly the same, and the team would actually be eliminated earlier in the both FA Cup and the League Cup. The 2014-2015 season would bring a league title to Chelsea along with the League Cup, but would see the club take a step backward in Champions League after being eliminated in the quarterfinals. After their successful league champion, Mourinho had a falling out with several players, including the top scorer from the prior title-winning campaign, Diego Costa. Several reports indicated that Costa was told that he would no longer play for the team, and this, among growing frustration with some of the teams' performances in other competitions, would lead to a very poor season for Chelsea. The club would part ways with Mourinho in mid-December en route to a 10th place league finish, defeats in the 4th and 6th rounds in the League Cup and FA Cup, and a quarterfinals defeat in the Champions League. In 2016, Mourinho would take the reins at one of the Chelsea's biggest rivals in Manchester United. Although his first season would see him finish one league position beneath the prior season, he would lead the team to victories in the Community Shield, UEFA Community Shield, UEFA Europa League, and the EFL Cup. The 2017-2018 season would see the team's league position improve to second, but would win no trophies, although they would finish as runners-up in the UEFA Super Cup and the FA Cup, while being eliminated in the quarterfinal rounds of the Champions League. Despite having signed Alexis Sanchez as part of a swap deal involving Henrik, the clubs favored an ultra-defensive approach that drew much scrutiny. His final season with the Red Devils would begin with only 7 wins with the first 17 games, including a 3-1 defeat to Liverpool. He would be removed from his position on December 18th for then interim manager Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. In 2019, Mourinho would be appointed as a replacement for Mauricio Pochettino. In mid-November, this appointment begins the management of his 3rd Premier League team and 4th Premier League stint, with the others being Manchester United and Chelsea. The 57-year-old Portuguese manager was born in Setúbal, Portugal. West Bromwich Albion. Slaven Bilic was appointed West Bromwich's new head coach in June 2019 on a 2-year deal. This is the second Premier League club that the Croatian manager will lead, the other being West Ham United. In his debut season, he would improve the final positioning from the year prior 4th by 2 to 2nd place in the championship and an automatic promotion spot. Bilic would actually lead the team to fewer losses than the league-winning Leeds United squad, although they would earn far more draws while also trying for second in the league, with Leeds for goals scored at 77. Bilic would begin his playing career at age 9 when he joined the Hajduk Split youth team as a defender, where he would remain until earning promotion to the Hajduk first team in 1988. Shortly after that, he would be sent on loan to NK Primorac and HNK Šibenik, where he spent the final 6 months of the 1988 season. He would also spend the entirety of the following year with HNK Šibenik, who finished 5th in the Yugoslav Second League. In total, meaning both this stint and his second immediately prior to retirement, he would accumulate 147 competitive appearances and 16 goals with the club. In the summer window of 1993, Bilic would be sold to the German side Karlsruher SC for approximately $560,000. He would remain with the club for just shy of 3 years, where he would accrue 66 appearances with 5 goals. For the entirety of his time with the club, they would remain in the Bundesliga. In the winter transfer window of the 1995-1996 season, he was acquired by West Ham United for a fee of just under $2 million. Bilic could play well for the Hammers in his 48 appearances with them, so much so that Premier League rivals Everton would pay almost triple €4.5 million to bring him to Goodison Park. Despite the princely fee paid to bring Bilic to Goodison Park, he would be limited to only 28 Premier League appearances due to a combination of injuries, rest from the 1998 World Cup, and booking-related suspensions in early July. In early July, Bilic was released by Everton, which would see him return to his boyhood club Hajduk Split, although he would retire shortly thereafter. Slaven Bilic got his first managerial opportunity when Nedard Grayson was fired as manager in 2001, to which Bilic was appointed as the caretaker manager. At the end of the season, he was not retained, and it was not until 2004 that Bilic was given his next opportunity, where he was appointed to lead the Croatian U21 team. He would serve in his role until 2006, when Zlatko Kranjčar was fired from the senior national team, to which Bilic would be promoted. Bilic would serve as the Croatia head coach for 6 years, where he was immensely successful, recording 63% win percentage. He was in charge of Croatia for 63 games and finished with a second of 14 wins, 14 draws, and 9 losses. Under his guidance, the team won its Group B, consisting of Germany, Australia, and Poland, even without the Croatian star, Ecuador. Although they would come up short in quarterfinals, Croatia had been unable to secure qualification for 2010 FIFA World Cup after finishing 1 point beneath Ukraine. Bilic would fall to reproduce the team's result in Euro 2012 and would ultimately see Bilic leave the Croatian national team, saying that he had come to get a result of winning the tournament. In May 2012, Bilic was announced as the coach of Lokomotiv Moscow, although his one season with them would result in a 9th place result, the team's worst result since the formation of the Russian Premier League, and his departure by mutual consent in July 2013 after accepting responsibility for the club's failures. Besiktas would announce that Bilic was to assume managerial duties in June 2013 on an expected 3-year deal with the club. In Bilic's first season, 2013-2014, he would guide the club to a 3rd place finish in the Turkish Super Liga with what looked to be a bet in the Europa League before the club was disqualified amid match-fixing allegations in the next season. He would again lead them to a 3rd place finish before being knocked out of the Champions League and eventually the Europa League in the round of 16. It would ultimately be Bilic's last season with the club before he would join West Ham United in June of 2015. Bilic would return to one of his playing clubs where he would begin his tenure with a number of brilliant performances, including away wins at Emirates, the Etihad, and Anfield. In the 2015-2016 season at the helm, he improved upon the prior year's finish 12th by 5 positions to end the 5th place. The 2016-2017 season saw them return a mid-table finish with an 11th place finish after the departure of Dimitri Payet, and leading scorer from the season before. The final season would begin very precariously for Bilic, who would see his tenure cut short with a sacking in early November 2017. Bilic joined Al Ittihad near the end of September 2018. However, he would remain there for only a few months after poor results and would be dismissed at the end of February 2019. In June 2019, he will join West Bromwich Albion, where he remained until December 16, 2020. My dear people, these are all the managers who were sacked between 2020 and 2021 Premier League season. Please, if you have a comment, please help me to drop a comment on the comment section. Thank you very much. Please subscribe to this channel.